We left for the baby island, 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 we left for the baby island.
Fellas, today, it's a generational day. The weather is beautiful, nice and sunny for the first time in about 2 weeks. It's a Thursday, it's a leg day, and I've just finished watching Gerard on the Overlap this morning, and Kanye West's new album came out the other day. So I've been driving to the gym, drinking my pre-workout, ready to go and smash legs. I don't know whether I've told you on here. I know I've told everyone who follows me on Instagram, but I don't know whether I've said it on YouTube. I've got tickets to see Kanye West, mate. I never thought I was going to see that guy live ever in my lifetime, but I am in Marseille, so that should be sick, which is the south of France, which we're going to turn into a holiday. So it means we're going on a holiday in the south of France, and we're seeing Kanye West a week after I finished my photo shoot. Life might have peaked. It might have actually peaked. Life has peaked at 26. Anyway, speaking of the photo shoots, we're into week 5. This is currently week 5 of my shoot prep. My weight has been a little bitch at the moment. It's doing me nothing. However, I've been doing this long enough to know that there's no need to panic, because every day I'm looking in the mirror, I'm thinking, Morg, mate, you look leaner than you did yesterday. So I don't really care about the scales, to be honest. I started at 88.2. At the moment, we're sitting around 83.9 to 84. It keeps jumping up and down. It was dropping, and then it spiked back up, and it's just not come back down. I've had 2 back-to-back rest days. So my check-in days with the lads are Tuesday and Wednesday. So I always rest on those days, because check-ins take me like 8-9 hours. So I'm just sat at the desk all day. So I'd rather just wake up and get cracking with them, as opposed to in the past, I've tried to get training done in the morning, and it then means I'm starting check-ins later, and it then also means I'm rushing through the gym. It's just not ideal. So I have Tuesday and Wednesdays, my 2 dedicated rest days, and then I train Thursday, Friday, rest Saturday, and then I train Sunday, Monday. So today I'm training legs, and like I say, off the back of 2 rest days, you'd think you'd get a big drop on the scales. I thought anyway, because I've been running 2-7 training day, 2K on a 2-7 training day, 2,000 on a rest day. So I've done 2 back-to-back rest day calories. I've done 11K steps both days, and yeah, my weight just has barely fucking budged. But like I said, I'm getting leaner. I can see it in the mirror. And then as soon as I've had carbs as well this morning, I've had 200 gram of carbs. Lovely stuff. So I'm ready to absolutely smash legs. I trained them with Danny, one of my clients, on Saturday, and it's a PB on both hack squat and dumbbell split squat. First time I've done 2.5 plates on the hack, the gym Lecco. It's the same one I use at Old School, so we'll see what we get today. And then 27.5 kilo dumbbells in each hand. So what's that, 55 kilo. We'll see what we get today, but like I say, I've had how many grams of carbs? I think I've had more than 200 grams, you know. Yeah, 220 gram of carbs. And my total daily carb intake today, because I've already planned my food, is 350. So 130 gram of carbs for the rest of the day after this. So I'm going to go in and train legs now. I'm going to run you through probably hack squat and split squat, to be honest. See if we can get some new PBs, or see if we can even match last week's numbers, because last week I was on smoke. Right fellas, warm-up set done. This, for some reason, this isn't very grippy, the platform, whereas the one at Be Modified that I trained out with Danny last week in Derby, I did think to myself when I got on it on Saturday, I was like, this feels better, feels different, but this has got no grip, whereas the other one's like really rubbery, really sticky, so you can like really drive back into the platform. It's not quite as good, but we're not making excuses around here. I'm still going to go for 2.5 plates. Let me just double check how many reps I actually got, because I think it was 5 or 6. Let me have a look. For anyone who watched my 2023 prep, you'll remember the generational run I went on with the hack. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. 7 to beat. Okay. If you see me doing this weird shit with my arm where one's tucked and the other one's out in front, basically my torso is twisted to the side, slightly to the right, and some days it feels okay, some days it doesn't. I think it depends on how I sleep. So I reach with one arm and tuck the other one in. It's something I've been playing around with recently, because what reaching on one side will do is then push. So my left rib cage and my left side in general is just pushed forward slightly. So if that side's pushed forwards, that's why my torso and everything's twisted to the right slightly. and that's what actually leads to partially my shoulder injury. So I reach on that side, and that helps to push that rib cage back in space slightly and like twist me to the left a little bit. Don't just blindly copy me because I'm doing it for a reason. My favourite song on the new Kanye album so far, by the way, White Lines. Absolute tune, mate.
Why birds suddenly appear every time that you're near.
Sometimes I belong by myself, yeah. I feel at home by myself, yeah. It ain't the same feeling with
I think that was 8. Now, if you're wondering the secret to how I progress my hack squat every single week, even during prep, it's carbs. I saw a post by Menno Henselman. For anyone who follows him has probably seen it, where he basically said they did a study about pre-workout carbs and said that it's basically just placebo effect. My argument to that is, whether it's placebo effect or not, it still fucking works. This is one thing I have had to unlearn over time as a coach, is that sometimes you have to ignore science. And I'm saying that as someone with a degree in nutrition, because the only thing that matters in this world is results. That's it. Whether it's placebo or not, it still fucking works. So if having 200 gram of carbs before I come and hack squat means that in my head I feel stronger and get a PB, I still got a PB. Argue with yourselves. Right lads, I am back from the gym. I'm just about to make my post-workout meal. I'm going to cover a topic that some of you may have heard me talk about before. However, I've just seen another coach's story and it's re-pissed me off again, basically, because I'm sick of hearing the same bullshit, lies being spread by these... You know who it is? It's always the coaches, right, who have absolutely zero critical thinking skills. They just parrot whatever the coach has told them or whatever the favourite bodybuilder has told them. They've done no research or no education themselves. They just literally copy what the coach has told them. And some of you probably know what I'm going to talk about. It's to do with carbohydrates, post-workout carbohydrates to be specific. I've just seen a coach, right, say that the most important meal of the day is the post-workout meal, and that's where they have the most carbs. Sorry, what? That's like saying, right, so if you're Lewis Hamilton and you're about to fuel up your car to go and race, that's like saying, right, lads, don't bother putting any fuel in the tank, right, before we go and race. We'll do it after. I'll just try and drive around the track and do the race today without any fuel in. It just doesn't fucking make sense, does it? Like, your most important meal of the day is your pre-workout meal. Pre and intra. Post-workout does not matter. I've used this analogy before, I'll use it again. Post-workout carbs is like turning up to a party 24 hours before the party's even fucking started. You don't need to replenish glycogen as soon as possible, right, when you finish training. Because guess what? I've just finished training. The time is currently 1:30. I'm not going to be training again for nearly 24 hours. I'm not going to be training again until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So why would I need to replenish my glycogen stores now when I've got a whole almost 24 hours to do it? I can do it tomorrow morning. Yes, I'm having some carbs post-workout. These have got, what, 50 grams of carbs in or something like that? I've just had 200 grams of carbs pre-workout, another 30 grams intra-workout. So 230 in total. What? Honestly, it baffles me. It absolutely baffles me. And this is where science does actually come in handy, because there is a research paper that shows that post-workout carbs do not matter as long as total daily carbohydrate. As long as total daily carbohydrate intake is sufficient. So there is a time and a place, of course there is, where science is useful, but most of these coaches ain't even read the fucking science, mate. They just parrot what the bodybuilding coaches said. And then that's how you end up with these bullshit lies just spreading around the industry, because all bodybuilders are the same. They all just parrot what the fucking coach says. They don't use their head and think, actually, wouldn't it might make more sense if I had my carbs pre-workout, not post-workout? Why would I consume the most carbs after I've trained, not before? That thought never enters their brain. They just go, oh, coach says do this, so I'll do that. Fucking retards, mate, honestly. Pisses me off. Anyway, I need to get my cortisol levels down so I can actually digest this meal. The cortisol levels have dropped now, you'll be glad to know. I'm relaxed. Now, the whiteboard is out. It's getting serious. I'm going to tell you my opinion on how you can actually make sure that you aren't dropping performance in the gym, to make sure that during a diet, you're not losing muscle. So, we're going to start with pre-workout carbs. Obviously, I spoke about these already, so I'm going to brush over these and just give you direct, actual suggestions in terms of numbers, what I would be aiming for in terms of carbs. So, I always aim for at least 1 gram per kilo of body weight. That is the suggestion I give to all clients. So, obviously, if you are a 60 kilo male, you are going to require less carbs than a 100 kilo male. So, a minimum of 1 gram per kilo in carbohydrates. Now, if you've got the carbs to go higher than that, go for it, like I did today. I don't weigh 200 kilos, in case you haven't noticed. However, I did still have 200 grams of carbs pre-workout because I wanted to make sure, bang, my training performance was through the fucking roof. Whether it is placebo or not, I don't believe it is. Some of it could be placebo, but I do genuinely think that carbohydrates make a massive difference. It is literally like, it's your body's main fuel source when it comes to performance. So like, depending on what intensity you are performing an activity at, whether you're just walking down the street, whether you are jogging, or whether you are training to failure in the gym, which you should be, is going to depend on which fuel source your body will utilize. When you are doing something low intensity, your body can utilize fat as a fuel source. When you are doing something high intensity, training in the gym to failure, that's when you need the carbohydrates, and that's why they're so important. It genuinely is like going into the gym with an empty fuel tank, or, you know, like an F1 driver going into a race with an empty fuel tank. It is literally like doing that. So pre-workout carbs are the most important. 1 gram per kilo of body weight, or about 50% of your total daily carb intake. One of those two, whichever one is higher, basically. If you are someone who trains early in the morning, I in the past have trained fasted. I actually quite enjoy training fasted, to be honest. When I say fasted, it's not the true definition of fasted, because I always have these here, intra-workout carbs. So I'll still have, if I'm training fasted, I'll probably have about 40 to 50 grams of cyclic dextrin, which obviously delivers about 40 to 50 gram of carbs. Or you could have like a Lucozade, or even 2, potentially. And that will help to fuel your session. I would then, in that case, if you're not eating anything at all before you go and train, like you're literally waking up, you know, necking your pre-workouts, necking your electrolytes, going to the gym, in that case, I would treat your final meal the day before almost as like your pre-workout meal, because you're going to be eating that, obviously going to bed, and then waking up and training. So that's your pre-workout meal, and so I would put the majority of your carbohydrates towards the end of the day, so that when you wake up the next morning, your glycogen stores are nice and full, and you're ready to go and train. So that's how I would fuel yourself for your training sessions. Now, what else is going to improve your performance to make sure that you're able to hold on to your strength during a cut? Caffeine. We don't just take pre-workouts or energy drinks before a workout because it gives you a buzz. It's also because caffeine is, in fact, an ergogenic aid. It has been shown, it has been proven to improve your performance. So, if I was someone, right, who had, you know, your typical 9 to 5 job, which in the past, I mean, I've never had a 9 to 5, but I used to work a job where obviously during the day I'd be working. I used to wake up, I'd train fasted first thing in the morning, so I'd have 40 to 50 gram of cyclic dextrin intra-workout. I would smash pre-workout on the way to the gym. The caffeine with the carbs combined helps to keep my performance nice and high. I wouldn't work all day and then go and try and train in the evening. That's just my preference. Some people might train better in the evening, potentially. If you look at it from a logical standpoint, it's probably going to be very few people, because if you've just been stressed all day at work and then you go and try and focus in the gym and you've got no caffeine in your system, or at least I wouldn't suggest consuming caffeine before you train in the evening, because it's going to fuck your sleep up, which I'll come on to in a second. That's what I would do. I would jig around your day so that you're not training in the evening. The other thing as well is when you finish work, mate, who can be arsed going training in the gym? Like, I just want to go home and relax, have my tea and chill out. I don't want to be going to the gym and then getting back and then you've got to go to bed after you've eaten your post-workout meal. I would rather get up nice and early, box my training session off, get a load of caffeine in, smash that, performance is nice and high because you're fresh, you've just woken up. And then that positive momentum actually builds and goes into the rest of your day. You feel great. After you finish a good session, you feel on top of the world. You're going into work and you're actually like, you've got a bit of energy, you've got a bit of something about you. You're not like dragging yourself through the day and you think, oh, I've got to fucking go train later on. So I would personally move my sessions earlier on the day if I was someone who worked, your typical 9-to-5 job. Now, if you are someone who is wanting to get shredded this summer, not just lean, not just, you can faintly see your abs, I have got a free shredded, not lean guide, which I'm going to put at the top link in the description below. Go and click that. It's completely free. You'll get it sent into your email and have a read through that, because that is going to go through not just nutrition, it's going to go through absolutely everything to ensure that you can get shredded this summer, not just a little bit lean. Now, the other thing, hydration and sleep. They are sort of hand in hand, basic stuff pretty much in my opinion. Everyone should be hydrated and should be sleeping at least 7 or 8 hours. I actually saw a study a couple of weeks ago which said that people who typically sleep like 5 or 6 hours, they are so used to sleeping 5 or 6 hours each night, they don't even realise how sleep deprived they are. Like, that's their normal. And it massively affects your performance in the gym, your cognitive function, your cravings and hunger levels, the ability for you to actually retain muscle mass. Sleeping 7 or 8 to 8 hours per night is literally a cheat code. Like, that is your biggest recovery, performance, hunger and craving tool, like everything. That should be a staple all year round. Everyone should be prioritising 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. And hydration, again, I've seen people try and say that electrolytes don't do anything and you don't need them, you get enough salt through your diet. But again, it comes back to, this is sometimes when it's important to use your own head, and again, critical thinking. I have tried not taking electrolytes, and I have taken electrolytes on a daily basis for an extended period of time. So for example, when I was in Bali last year, for 7 weeks, I didn't take my electrolytes. No, I did take my electrolytes, I'm lying. I took them with me, but I ran out. And so the last 4 or 5 weeks when I was in Bali, I didn't have any electrolytes. And I felt dehydrated constantly. And over there, they don't sell electrolytes or anything like that other than Pocari Sweat, which is like very similar to Lucozade and Gatorade. So I was making sure I was necking loads of those, and they definitely helped. But electrolytes work. Simple as that. So make sure you're hydrated before you train, and make sure you've had 7 or 8 hours of sleep. Simple as that. And the fifth and final point I was going to make before there was a knock at the door, turns out it was actually my baby triplet cousins who'd come round to have the haircut. So the whiteboard with all the text on was ruined. My bedroom was a mess. So I've got to finish the video now. Anyway, the fifth and final point is stop training like a pussy. You could do all those things there. Hydration, sleep, pre-workout carbs, intra-workout carbs. If you still train like a pussy, which I see all the time in the gym, I watch clients' training videos and I watch them back and go, you still had 2, 3, 4 reps in the tank there. You ain't gonna hold on to muscle. It's as simple as that. You have to be taking your sets all the way to failure. And music, in my opinion, plays a bigger part than people realise. Like, getting into the right mental headspace before you start a set can be the difference between you progressing or you regressing and losing reps because you've just given to the deficit and you've let that win that mental game. Retaining strength is a lot more of a mental game than it is anything else. Training to failure in general, whether you're in a deficit, maintenance, a gaining phase, it is a mental game and you have to learn to be able to win that battle. So if you did enjoy the video, fellas, make sure to drop a like. Any questions, drop them down below in the comment section and I'll see you in the next one.